All right, looks like we're live. Let's just see if this is going out okay on the old YouTubes there. And, okay, sounds okay. Hang on a second. Okay. All right. So this is the shekel stream, everybody. I need some shekels. I'm gonna be like Wings of Redemption. I'm gonna sit here. I'm not here to conversate. I just want donations. So make with them shekels there, goy. Um, hey you, why don't you donate? I'm not here to conversate. Uh, seriously, some stuff I wanted to chat about. Let me just bring up a couple of stories I wanted to talk about. I might be joined by Luke, who's having some connection issues tonight, so we'll see. Let's see. That's right by the mic. I hope that's not annoying. I mean, too late now. I was already doing it, but so he says, "Fucking money badgers got to you." Yep. Make with them shekels. All right, you need to make with them shekels there, boy. Let's see. Okay, so this is on BBC.com, not to be confused with the type of BBC that soy boys are fond of. No, this is BBC.com/news. It's in the arts and entertainment section. Hank Azaria, quote, willing to step aside, unquote, from Simpsons Apu role. Okay, so I'm not going to, I don't know if I'll read this article or not. Point is, this guy's been voicing Apu in The Simpsons, the Indian, head of the Quickie Mart, the Indian character in The Simpsons, since something like season 2, I believe the character appeared. I'm not sure. Apparently since 1990. The show started in 88, 89, something like that. So I'm going to say season 2. It's not even that bad of a first of all, if it was just a horrible stereotype, who fucking cares? Gross sense of humor. But it's not even that bad of a stereotype. Apu is almost the model foreigner. I don't even want to say immigrant. I almost hate the term immigrant. Model immigrant, whatever. He comes to America. He, runs a business, contributes to the community, doesn't force his, foreigner beliefs on everybody. Model fucking immigrant. All right. So not even that bad of a stereotype. And the guy that was the problem with a Pooh documentary, where we decided we're going to make a big old fucking issue about this. And the reason being is the one Indian comedian, I don't remember his name. He's a guy that he was in Van Wilder. He was in Harold and Kumar. He had a recurring role in Dr. House. I believe he even had a bit part in Superman Returns. He's been in a bunch of stuff. You know who I'm talking about. He whines that, when he was a kid, people would call him a poo as an insult. Oh, wow. People can't. First of all, kids are going to come up with names no matter what the fuck's on TV. Okay. So what's interesting though is this actor, comedian, whatever you want to call him. And again, I don't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm not going to bother Googling his name because, as far as I'm concerned, fuck him. It's, his name is Toby. No, his name is Apu now. We're going to call him Apu. Actually, what's funny about this is Van Wilder is, as far as I know, his big break, that actor's big break, in which he played a very stereotypical Indian character named Taj Mahal. So yeah, let's call him Taj. We'll call this actor Taj. Taj has a big old problem with Apu. It's a big old stereotype, and it's voiced by a white guy, and my pussy hurts. So this voice actor is thinking of stepping aside from the role now, because it really helps when you give in to these fucking people. Um, if they go ahead and do, sounds like Luke hopped in finally. There he is. What's interesting is apparently the Simpsons. I really can't hear you, Luke. Your audio is still a little rough. What's interesting is the Simpsons apparently had some response to this where they made some joke about like liberals being like, yeah, we can't hear you at all there, Luke. I got to mute you 'cause it's like,
what's up, Doc?
oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, now it went. All right. So the Simpsons made some comment about like people being easily offended or something, and then they panned over to a poo or something. So they made reference to it. They shat on it, and good for them. I mean, let's face it, The Simpsons isn't really worth watching anymore. It has its moments, but it's a sad, sad shadow of its once glory. Um, that said, though, if they give in to this, then The Simpsons is done. Done. Any shred of worth left in that show will be gone. Another little story, and I'll put this in the chat so you can throw up images, Luke. This kind of made me smile. 1990 style Flair Ultra X-Men card series returns this July. A piece of nostalgia. This is off of newsarama.com, by the way, folks. By Chris Arendt, editor, and both Newsarama and Newsarama is probably the top comic book news site, and it's not as bad as Comic Book Resources, CBR.com, but it's pretty fucking cucked. It's not quite Kotaku levels cucked, but it's pretty cucked. But anyways, a piece in, I'm just mentioning that if you ever want to check out that site, just know what you might be getting into. A piece of nostalgia returning as Upper Deck is dusting off the Flair Ultra line for a new series of X-Men trading cards. A number of participating artists have confirmed the new series, even showing off art from their cards. The Wolverine card looks nice. Got a new Onslaught card. That's cool. It's from some tweets. I used to love the superhero trading cards when I was a kid. Yeah, I was all about them. One of the big reasons now, when I was getting into comics, they actually, based off of the Marvel vs. DC miniseries, there was a series of Marvel vs. DC trading cards, which were really awesome. I even got trading cards based on the amalgam universe, the combination of Marvel and DC. But I would get X-Men cards, Spider-Man, some DC cards, shit like that. And they were actually really cool because I just have fond memories of them because it was an interesting way to learn about characters and the history of the Marvel Universe. I mean, this was pre-internet days. I mean, internet existed, but nobody had it kind of thing. 95, 96 kind of thing. So I have fond memories of them. I doubt I'll buy any of these, to be honest with you, just because I wouldn't know what to do with them. But I like the fact that, I hope it does well, actually. I don't know that it will. I doubt that it will, if I'm being honest with you. But I'd like to see it do well anyways. I actually have a handful of superhero trading cards left. I have a little tin of them, and it's maybe a stack, I don't know, an inch high of them or something that I have left. I use a bunch of them as bookmarks because I usually have a reading pile of about 4 or 5 books I'm going through at a time. But beyond the 4 or 5 that get frequently used as bookmarks, I mean, there's no use for them, so. Let's see.
And just to let everybody know, the Bechtloff has a new Twitter feed.
Oh, that's right. There is a Bechtloff podcast Twitter. I think it's just at Bechtloff Podcast. I'm not running it. I'm not even going to dare log into it and get the fucker IP block. Luke is running it. There's a few things I'll tell him to tweet. He'll probably copy some stuff that's on the Facebook and Gab, and beyond that, he's just going to tweet when we're going live and stuff like that.
And to all the people who send me images to share, send them to this address.
Yeah, there you go. So let's see what else. Okay, so he says thoughts on the Venom trailer. I did catch the Venom trailer yesterday, and it's basically has the same problem that the Teen Titans cartoon had. As I'm watching this trailer, okay, so it's basically we're gonna make Venom and we're gonna remove Spider-Man from his history, from the history of the character. And they're remarkably true to the source material. Despite that, the problem is you've ripped the heart out of things. There's a lot to like in that trailer. We're referencing the Life Foundation. The symbiotes look great. If this was tweaked to be in a world where you don't even have to have Spider-Man in a Venom movie. You just have to have Spider-Man as a part of the lore of that universe. You have to have it as a part of the past of that character. Otherwise, it's like you're doing a Robin movie and Batman doesn't exist. Kind of like the fucking Teen Titans did. So yeah, I'm not going to go see it. Visually, it looks great, but I'm not going to go see it. And it's a shame. It's a shame if you'd have just had, if you'd have just had this take place in a world that Spider-Man was in. Like if you would have had him already as Venom and just made like a Lethal Protector movie and you referenced that, he used to have this beef with Spider-Man and now he's moved on or something, you could maybe have something here. But as it stands right now, no. Somebody's in the chat comparing this to Halle Berry's Catwoman. I wouldn't go that far in that, this is as true to the source material as you could be after eviscerating the heart out of it. There's so many ways where it seems remarkably true to the source material. But yeah, like I said, it's just a bad idea. Somebody says Sony is dumb, film at 11. Yeah, it's almost remarkable. It's like they're getting the harder parts right of a Venom movie and the easy part wrong. Which in some ways was sort of the story of the Amazing Spider-Man movie. I felt like they got things that the Sam Raimi movies didn't get right that were arguably harder to get right. They got them right. But the basic core of the story, they got wrong. So yeah, I'm not going to see it. Let's see.
So the symbiote talks to him now, or what?
Oh yeah, well that's lore in the series. The symbiotes are sentient, and they do communicate with their host. Now the exact nature of that has varied on how it's been depicted over the years. Sometimes it's audible. Sometimes it's more like you just feel what the symbiote feels, kind of thing. Somebody says, I think their plan is to have Spider-Man reference but not show up. I thought that too until I watched the trailer, and the trailer seems like this is a universe devoid of Spider-Man. So yeah, it just seems like it's a fucking terrible idea.
But this is even Batman without Robin without Batman, because this is like the Joker without Batman.
Yeah, except like it's even worse than that because Venom's very origin is tied to Spider-Man. Like the Joker is a villain who then fights Batman and latches onto Batman. It's
like Tim Burton's version of Joker without the Batman, because Joker apparently in that version, Joker actually caused the death of Batman's parents.
Yeah, It's just a bad idea. Wasted potential. Film at 11. Somebody says, I saw Avengers Infinity War last night. I didn't even know that was out already. I really want to talk about the ending, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Yeah, please don't spoil it for me. And I don't even know if I'm going to get to see it this weekend. I'm kind of fucking broke this week.
Oh yeah, the movie Chappaquiddick came out recently, which is basically the story of the Ted Kennedy's involvement with manslaughter.
Yeah. God, the Kennedys are such trash.
Here's an interesting contrast of political opinion and critic opinion. Apparently, the movie Rampage is doing terrible with critics, but great with audiences. Meanwhile, the movie Blockers is great with the critics, but bad with audiences.
Blockers? I don't think I've ever heard that.
Basically, it's three sets of parents, and they know that their daughters are planning to lose their virginity at prom night, and they're trying to stop them. And there's a rooster and a blocker on the screen. So,
oh, I get it. I wouldn't mind seeing Chappaquiddick, but I don't know. I doubt I'd get to see it in the theater. Like I said, I'm not even sure if I can really justify going to see Avengers.
Oh yeah, officially comes out tomorrow at all times.
What we got in the chat here? Somebody says, I'm not bitching, but before Avengers, which was PG, the Deadpool trailer had 3 fucks in it. I was sitting in a theater filled with children. I just thought, huh? Well, did you see a midnight showing? Or even like the super, super late showing, like 11:30 or 11, 10:30, something like that. Some of the like really, really late showings that, occur the day before the movie really opens. I know like midnight showings, even for PG-13 movies, they could get away with doing red band trailers because they're running it so late. Somebody says, nope, 5:10 p.m. Well, then I don't know. Was it a red band trailer? That red band means like, when the trailer starts off, you get like a little thing at the beginning. It's usually green and it says this. The trailers are actually rated. Green trailers, like with a green thing, this trailer is okay for general audiences. That means there's not supposed to be swearing or anything like that in it. And then a red band trailer, there it is, yeah. So yeah, I would think if there's fucks in it, it would have to be a red band trailer, and they're really not supposed to play those in front of anything other than an R-rated movie. Again, I think midnight showings are an exception. Oh, he's in Australia now. I don't think we have those in Australia. I couldn't tell you what the fuck goes on in Australia then. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm amazed anyone's allowed to say fuck there. Y'all gave up your guns. So I don't know what goes on in Australia.
I remember I first heard this trailer for Deadpool.
Daddy needs to express some rage.
Motherfucker! Deadpool is so damn good. So he says, back during when the last Mimsy was in theaters, a bunch of kids for a birthday went to see it. They got The Birth of Hills Have Eyes 2. I remember there was one where it was like, okay, now I can't imagine why this was that big of a deal, but supposedly some kids were going to see one of the Madagascar movies, and fuck them for going to see the Madagascar movies in the first place. Those movies are shit. But They got some sort of horror movie in there, and the kids were complaining they were scared. And I'm like, there's what I can't remember what it was, but I'm like, there's no way the first few minutes of the movie scared them. Davis wants in here, fresh from his vacation. Let's see. Somebody says invite Davis and then kick him out. We'll see where the night goes. Like when I snuck into Forney's stream. Forney was doing a stream Sunday, right? And I had some dinner plans. So when I got back from dinner, I saw he was still streaming. So I just messaged Luke and I'm like, put me in, coach. So I just hop right into the stream and I'm like listening to the topic, and I kind of get myself caught up, and then I just chime in. And Forney's like, Bechtloff, where'd you come from? I'm like, Bechtloff goes where he pleases. The hills have eyes open with lady's baby being pulled from her womb. Ew, that's pretty gnarly. Let's see. Okay, so Davis pesters me to invite him in, and when I send him a link, he's like, "I'll be there in 5 minutes." Damn Canadians, fucking Canadian people time, CPT, Canadian people time. Let's see. What else did I want to chat about tonight? There was something else, and fuck if I can remember, because I'm just so professional. You should all send me shekels, because I'm just so professional. My super, super professional show here. Let's see.
Fuck Canada!
Hey, fuck you, buddy!
Okay, so somebody had showed us, and it was a classic CNN tweet where there were New York's fearless girl statue stands her ground against Wall Street bull even in the snow. It was, some filler article where they took a picture of that stupid like little girl statue they put in front of the bull at Wall Street, and it like took a picture of it in the snow. It's like, CNN considering it newsworthy that a statue is remaining still. But I heard somebody mention this, and I don't know who said it, so I can't give credit, but it's absolutely brilliant. Think about that fearless girl statue in front of you. We all know what I'm talking about. That they put in front of the bull at Wall Street, right? Well, think for a minute here. That statue is meant to represent feminism, right? The fearless girl. But let's take a moment to remember what the bull represents there. The bull represents economic prosperity and growth. A bull market is when things are up. Bear markets are when things are down. So by putting that statue there, the dipshit fucking leftist who did that accidentally said that feminism stands in the way of economic prosperity. As far as I'm concerned, now that I look at it that way, that statue should stand there till the end of time.
Got leafed!
Canadian people time.
So I don't know what you're talking about, but I just wanted to say that the Holocaust never happened and support my Patreon.
No, that's not quite honey badgers because you actually made a point.
Well, I was doing like a blend, a love child between the honey badger. Never mind. How are y'all doing?
Oh, not bad.
You got insufficient Celsius down where y'all are?
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that metric. The metric system's only good for measuring how much of a faggot you are.
Well, here's no. Metric system's great because you take a liter of water, it's easier to figure out. A liter of water is 1 meter on every side.
What?
Anyway, so we're
My
talking.
car gets 40 rods to the hog's end, and that's the way I likes it.
Car hole. So you're talking about that stupid frickin' pet. Like what it. I saw somebody else point this out that they always take the photo from the back because if you saw it from the front, now the actual statue has an adult woman's face there because if they had a child's face, she would have such a snotty little look on her face, wouldn't she?
I like when people take pictures of it with like Trump hats and shit like that. People have photoshopped it for. Oh, you know what, Luke? I'm going to send you something, and I believe that it's safe, but I have to see.
All right. Well, while you're dealing with that, I'd just like to point out, Ninja Master, that when you use the metric system and you measure from the asshole, your dick is fucking enormous.
How many centimeters?
I could just do what I do and date Asian girls.
Okay, Luke. This. You can throw this up. You can throw this one up. Oh, you put Tyrone on. You put a black guy on the bull. That's hilarious.
Oh no!
What is this? A Disney children's show?
Where did you find this image, Bechtloff?
Oh, it was right after the statue first came out. But here's the new version of the statue.
Oh. Why does that picture remind me of Shoe on Head for some reason?
Well, I don't know. Is Armored Skeptic in the corner crying watching it?
Hey, Canadians don't cry. It's just lubrication for our dicks.
I'm waiting to see the chat react to it.
More Lego porn. Oh no.
Yeah, back in the day when Lego porn was degenerate. Now we've got Wall Street lolly bestiality porn. Oh, is that Shadman again? I can't decide if Shadman is like a demon or a genius.
Oh, geez.
Like I find him deeply disgusting and revolting. But there is method to his madness. I mean, Hilali Clinton? Seriously? Fuck. Welcome to the current year, Goy.
Who said shoe on head? Somebody says, talk about the incel terrorist. I don't really know anything about that. I guess there was like a fucking van of peace up in Canada. It turned out to be an incel instead of a Durka.
Yeah, it was an Armenian, and it happened the day before the Armenian genocide date, celebration. I don't know what you call it.
I don't know. Some big brown buffalo on YouTube told me that never happened.
Yeah, and the Ontario Parliament was flying a Turkish flag, like on the day before the anniversary of the Armenian genocide, but it doesn't appear to have anything to do with it. He seems just to be another kid raised on soy and high fructose corn syrup who snapped, and they're blaming the people that he and Elliot Rodgers hated.
It was all that misogyny.
Donovan Warland's asking who Shatman is. Shatman is proof that whites can do everything better than Jews, even degeneracy.
As is seen this image right here.
Yeah, like you have to be a special sort of genius to come up with something this depraved, disgusting, degenerate, and yet insightful.
That's disturbing.
He's very disturbing.
Incel terrorist might be a furry as well, according to my chat. Well, how about that?
At least he wasn't throwing diapers at people while he was running them over.
Jeez. He acted like an autistic furry in high school. Well, how about that? Autistic furry is kind of redundant. I dropped a link in the Discord. Oh, that's right. I have a Discord. I have to see if some academics are responding.
Yeah, hey, Bechtloff, I just gotta say, be careful here. Otherwise, certain groups will take issue with you. Yes, all furries are autistic, but not all autistics are furries. So don't
sort of
call him an autist.
It's sort of like rectangles and squares. All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. Okay, so
you might have somebody showing up wearing a Ushanka hat, and it ain't going to be me.
Oh man, did you see the? Of course, I made the mistake of opening news articles, so I had a pop up in my ear. Did you guys see the Medicare versus Jonathan Ross Kumite a couple weeks ago?
They actually confronted one another directly.
Oh yeah, they were on a Kumite together.
Holy shit!
It's spectacular. That's one of 2 times I've heard actual righteous anger coming out of Jim directed at somebody. The other time was at Baked Alaska, yelling at him for being a sellout. But he was flipping out on him.
You know what I'll be quote mining tonight.
Good for Jim. He's finding that righteous anger in him. I've moved on to stage 3 of acceptance.
But yeah, that's one of the best kumites. And again, you can find like there's if you Google like not Google, if you just search for it on YouTube, like Kumite Ross and Medicare, you'll find it.
If you turn on your cell phone and see what YouTube recommends, it'll be in the top 5.
Probably. I like that. See, I don't watch all the internet blood sports shit. Like I never watched Baked Alaska because he sucks. Worski never really interested me. But I like the Kumite guys. I like Tonka Saw and Failure. Like I actually feel like they'd be interesting enough, like background noise to listen to, even if they didn't have interesting guests on. Whereas like Worski's kind of dumb. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, he seems like a nice enough guy, but he's at best a lovable pedophile. Somebody in the chat mentions, yes, Jonathan Ross does work as a teacher's aide in an elementary school.
Because of course he would.
I do need to get help, yeah, you're right. But I mean, like, it's not like...
Well, help for what? You claim you're not a pedophile. You claim that that's all fabricated. So what are you getting help for then?
Oh, man. It was such a good one, too. Somebody says, I feel like Worski is a useful idiot. I feel like Jim manipulates him. Well, everyone manipulates Worski. That's the thing. Like, every time Worski's on the Kumite, they just all fuck with him. And I don't even think it's in a mean way. I think it's just, dance monkey.
It's kind of speculated right now that he and JF, his usual partner, is like having some friction.
Yeah, it does. Because JF seems to want to do a more political show, and Worski wants to move away from it.
Did you guys catch the Clary stream earlier tonight?
No, I worked second, so I didn't get home till maybe an hour ago.
Well, I tell you what, one of the things Clary said to me when I saw him briefly in Vegas, he was like catching a flight in 2 hours, so he grabbed lunch with a couple other people. The one thing he commented to me is that he realized all this was bullshit the first time he went to a Tea Party rally. So all this shit that we've been wasting our time with Gamergate and the alt-right, he figured out at the Tea Party rally. And I'm seriously tempted to pay him to do a video explaining, like, going into more depth about what he saw and why it was such a fail. Even though, like, I kind of know what he's going to say, I just want the catharsis of hearing him say it. And it's, this thing about politics. They were talking about politics on the stream, and Clary was saying he'd been trying briefly to try and put together, some sort of militia, nothing political, just kind of a male survivalist group. If shit hits the fan, we'll all work together. And none of his fat, lazy, conservative friends wanted to do anything. In fact, he specifically mentioned you as an exception, Bechtloff, as somebody that does shit and isn't all talk.
One of the earliest kind of examples of that for me was when I got involved in like in libertarian circles, and I mean it was just a bunch of guys wanting to jerk off. None of them had any idea what to do, how to do it. I mean, I kind of mentioned with Cantwell a little while ago that I think Cantwell's biggest problem was that he would get involved in these groups and he would take their bullshit seriously, and he'd be, he got involved in libertarianism, and now he's, like, yeah, let's topple the government. He got involved in, white nationalism, like, yeah, let's start an ethno state. And he doesn't realize none of those people in those groups wanted to actually do it. They just wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, you need to actually have sex with women to have an ethno state. Look at the silver dollar bikini. It didn't sell. It didn't sell. I wasn't in a position to buy one, and I didn't have a girlfriend at the time. But I'll tell you what, my current lady friend asked if he was still selling it. But, none of the other conservatives want to buy the silver dollar bikini. God, that's sexy and capitalist.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody. Well, I mean, it's so bad right now. Nobody wants to do anything, period, anymore. Never mind even politics. I mean, why is the mall dying? Yeah, there were economic reasons during the Bush year or during the Obama years, but the economy's bumping back under Trump a little bit, and the mall's still dying because nobody wants to go anywhere. People are still buying shit. They just don't. They don't want to go anywhere. They don't want to be sociable. Nobody wants to do anything. They just want to sit around and stream Netflix all the fucking time and have shit mail delivered to them and never leave the house.
I'll tell you what, man, the number of people I actually hang out with, I can number on one hand. Now, that would be different if all of my internet friends, if we all lived in the same city. Anytime we get together, we fucking do shit. Okay? Like those 2 weeks in Vegas, I was doing shit every single day. But most people, they don't want to do shit.
Yeah, like I was thinking a little while ago, I picked up a Powerball ticket. I thought, what would I do if I won? And I'd spend like probably 6 months just traveling the fucking country, just trying to do shit,
Visiting all
like, it's not even dumb shit I'd want to buy that I was thinking of. It was dumb shit I'd want to do. Nobody wants to do anything.
Fuck, Glon says a canoe trip. I've never been on a canoe trip. Fuck it. If I had a couple grand to burn right now, I'd do a canoe trip. Probably wouldn't even like it. Probably say I'm never doing that again, but hey, I did it. That's something. Yeah, it's like Claire pointed out, we're a bunch of lone wolves, man. And you know what? The thing is that there's this tendency to normalize from your experience. There's a fancier way of saying it, I forget. But like if you're intelligent, everybody you hang out with is intelligent. So the black guys you hang out with are intelligent. And so you assume that black guys are all intelligent, and you completely ignore the reality of the ghetto. Right? Normalizing from something like that. He's like we all like to do stuff. We like going on adventures. We like living in the real world. And so we think everybody else is like us. But no, guys, most people are not like us. Most people just want to watch sports ball and the Big Bang Theory.
Like somebody in the chat says the mall died because of Amazon. But I don't know. Maybe I was different when I was growing up and I'd go to the mall. I didn't go to the mall just to buy shit. I went to the mall because it was somewhere to go.
Dude, I still sometimes do that.
What we're going to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Look, Fletch, first I say what we're going to do. Then you say, I don't know. What do you want to do? Then I say what we're going to do. You say what you want to do. What we're going to do. What you want. Let's do something.
In my area, right in the middle of my county, there's a mall that's still pretty good. And there's a few malls closer to Philly that are still pretty good. But by and large in this country, the mall's basically dying. And again, it's just because nobody wants to do anything.
I got a question. Is it illegal to shoot bushes in Nevada?
I couldn't. I don't know what the law is in Nevada.
I got a video of me having fun with some friends, but I kind of slightly murder a bush in it, and I don't want to upload that if some freak SJW is going to report me to the EPA or something and get me banned from the United States for murdering a fucking bush at a shooting range.
Well, I don't. A shooting range. It's okay. It might be okay.
Unless you happen to be firing on a very endangered plant, I highly doubt that there's an environmental issue with it. I think there might just be there could be some law against you only can fire a gun at a range or something like that. Although Nevada's pretty lax,
we were firing on federal land, half a mile from the nearest highway, all completely legal, along with a lot of other people that are also putting rounds downrange. So I just don't want to get. I think we're fine. All right, I'll send it to Luke. But yeah, just having fun. So we got people don't want to have fun.
Yeah, like I said, nobody wants to do anything anymore.
Well, truth be told, the things we have to do are not inherently fun. So
they want to play video games all day.
Well, there's a time and place for that, but I'm sure people want to get out of their chairs once in a while. Not to mention all the political nonsenses. Most of the political stuff is just sitting down, doing papers, making phone calls, and just going door to door. That's not very entertaining or glamorous.
Clary was talking about going to this, I guess it was a 5-year-old story, but going to this dance hall that he used to go to. And everybody there was just like, all the women were obese, all the men were underweight. And both sexes refused, like they couldn't, like men weren't leading, women weren't following. They even were talking about organizing a safe space for the dance club meetup and having an officer that you could report harassment to at the fucking swing dance gathering.
Yeah, nobody.
I tell you guys, like we're like relics of some sort of Hyperborean age or something like that. Now let me ask you, maybe I should ask Pastor Tom this. Would it be immoral for me to create a persona as a female advice columnist and write a book rationalizing living a shitty life for a woman and making $1 million selling that? Would that be immoral?
Yeah, possibly. I would say you're definitely skirting the line there.
I mean, that's what the guy that runs Heart Attack Grill. The funny thing about Heart Attack Grill Do you know about this guy, the owner of Heart Attack Grill?
No, I haven't heard of this.
He used to own like 20 Jenny Craig locations. And one day he snapped. He just got so sick of fat people being fat. They said, if you fatties want to be fat, I'm going to sell you fat. So he opened up the Heart Attack Grill, which is a restaurant that sells you massive, like it's all the staff, they're dressed up like nurses. You have to wear a hospital gown when you go in. And they have these enormous burgers, with cheese and red meat. And there's all these signs advertising the health of cigarettes on the walls and whatnot. And the representative, the face of Heart Attack Grill, who changes every couple of years due to death, is the fattest person that eats there. If you weigh more than 350 pounds, you eat for free at Heart Attack Grill.
Oh, man, somebody needs a message, Wings of Redemption.
Oh, yeah, the nurses are hot. In fact, they each have their own website, okay? Like, the nurses are very, very highly paid. I think that guy's dead right now, but... Now, the ironic thing is that the food they serve at Heart Attack Grill is actually pretty healthy. The fries are... They are fried in beef tallow, which is a hell of a lot better than the shit they use at McDonald's. The burger, I'm not going to say they're the tastiest burgers I've ever had, but it's meat and cheese and veggies with a little bit of bun. But yeah, that's
burgers. Everyone thinks, oh, you get fat from burgers aren't that bad for you. They're not necessarily health food, but no, they're not. Nobody's obese because they eat too many fucking hamburgers. You're obese because you're eating too much fucking sugar. Let's see.
Oh yeah, McDonald's used to use beef tallow up until the mid-90s when the vegans and the health department of the United States claimed that beef tallow was bad for you, so they switched to rapeseed oil. By the way, the one on the right, like just next to him, she's a fucking sweetheart. Didn't manage to get her number though.
I thought they would use just plain old vegetable oil at McDonald's.
That's what rapeseed oil is. They call it canola oil because rapeseed is bad marketing.
It does sound kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and if you don't eat the whole burger, you get spanked. Which, anytime I'm there, I point out to the lovely nurse that God gave women and children soft, padded butt cheeks with a lot of nerve endings for a goddamn reason.
So this is a rape seed.
That's a rape seed.
I feel triggered.
Oh, damn it. I still didn't visit the pawn shop from the History Channel. Keep meaning to go there. God, there's so much to do in Vegas, and I don't gamble. That's the amazing thing about the city. So many people, they spend all their time, there is so much to do in Vegas, aside from gambling.
Well, as Forney pointed out, if you sit by the nickel slots, you get free drinks. So as long as you're putting little nickels into it, so, you can drink like four or five drinks for less than $2 or $3.
Dude, it's America. You can get drunk on $5 in America. Okay, Canada, you need $50 to get drunk. All right, America, you can do it in $5. Who gives a shit about free drinks?
The town of Vegas has got a different face, 'cause it's a family place with lots to do. Where in the 50s, a man could mingle with scores of all the seediest whores. Well, now his children can too.
Yep. Okay, I love how all the trash, the 56% bring their children with them to Fremont Street, where you can see a couple of obese cellulite whores wearing nothing but underwear and electrical tape on their nipples. And they're completely shameless.
Yeah, it's weird. Having cooking at home a lot more the last few months. I started using olive oil, and sometimes I'll use grapeseed But it's really spoiled me. Like, I can't stand cooking with just regular old vegetable oil anymore.
Oh, it's rancid. Don't use that shit. It's absolutely toxic.
Oh yeah, it's terrible for you. But I don't even like the taste anymore. I cook with butter or olive oil.
I'll tell you what I like to use is peanut oil.
Peanut oil is pretty good. Neither of the grocery stores in town ever seem to carry it.
You know, and listen, a little bit of the leaf supremacy. That's the one thing I will say is trying to find good food in America is very difficult.
Oh, you gotta know what you're looking for. I mean, 90% of the grocery store is just some form of fucking processed corn.
Yeah, I was trying to explain this to Clary on a live stream we did a few years back, where I was bitching about Walmart. Like, Walmart, everything has sugar added to it. Even the croissants. Croissants aren't healthy for you, okay? Croissants are breakfast cake. But the croissants at Walmart have they have a layer of sugar on the outside. They're terrible. I cannot stand shopping at Walmart just because, like, there's nothing edible at Walmart.
And there used to be some good Mexican sausage at the Walmart I went to.
I didn't go into the Mexican aisle because that's racist. It's racist to imply that people eat a certain food. Hey, if Mexicans want to eat, what the fuck do white people eat? Escargot and haggis? Mexicans have the right to eat. Don't you tell me that Mexicans don't eat haggis.
Oh, there's so much fucking nasty Puerto Rican food at the Walmart in my area, too. All that Goya shit.
That's because of all the Germans they're importing to your area.
Yeah, all them damn Germans.
Let me go on record and say fuck German food and fuck Oktoberfest.
Oh, I hate
The
German
last thing I want
food.
to have is a giant tasteless pretzel while I'm getting drunk on fattening beer.
I hate German food. It's all just like heavy and flavorless to me.
The only good thing that came out of Germany was sauerkraut and the Holocaust.
Nine, 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 nine.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hate speech up your channel, Bechtloff. That was a joke, YouTube censors. We all know
This is just the Bechtloff. This is just the backup channel too. You can't be showing off. Well, I can't lose monetization on this one. I don't have monetization on it.
If you do, because I seriously apologize if you do because of that comment.
No, I won't. That's only if I pick on poor Mike Enoch.
Yeah, I think that YouTube. It seems to me that YouTube's realized that they're stepping on their own dick and they're kind of backing down. I think that's happening. I don't know. Maybe I'm being optimistic. I don't know.
Either Germany or YouTube is not happy with the Bechtloff right now.
Die gesamte Generalität ist nichts weiter als ein Haufen niederträchtiger.
And that was just him ordering pancakes.
So such a lovely language.
It's poetic. That like you can like Bach music is basically like musical German. Actually, maybe that's why Bach was such a great musician, is because his language was so fucking ugly he didn't want to be a poet.
Oh. Let's see. Somebody says Davis denies the Holocaust again. I hook up with black girls at Oktoberfest. Bechtloff Ross. Oh, YouTube is going after other corners. Weed growing channels and weed smoking videos. They could have aided businesses legal in the States, but illegal federally. Germans make good chocolate. Yeah, that's true. There's good candy coming out of Germany.
Make me run. I am full of chocolate.
Las Vegas is a good place to do your bachelor parties. Peanut oil.
Well, I tell you what, my bachelor party, we're climbing up Mount Charleston and hunting Bigfoot. There's actually a disappearance right before I showed up into town. It's the first, anytime I go into a public park, like a national park, I'm like, have there been any disappearances lately? And yeah, right before I got there, there was a guy, presumably German, experienced mountain hiker who has fucking disappeared on Mount Charleston. And if they find him, he's going to have high levels of GHB and missing boots. So I said to the sweetheart, listen, you have no German heritage. I've got like a 16th. So don't lose eye contact with me. Bigfoot might get me. I'm not even fucking kidding. Look at missing 411. It's really creepy. Bigfoot's working for the CIA, folks.
Huh? Oh, sorry. We were talking about chocolate?
That was 10 minutes ago.
Reaching levels of woke that shouldn't even be possible. Speaking of levels of woke that shouldn't be possible, Kanye West on Twitter was getting all kinds of woke. He was he had this big long rant about how great Trump is, and I mean just spouting off borderline alt-right talking points and shit like that.
Yeah,
and
I'll stop calling him Kane West.
The leftists are not happy. Let me see if I can bring up this article. Well, yeah, they're never happy. They're incapable of such things. But let's see if we can bring up this.
Hey, wait. That is that an anti-Illuminati one eye thing he's doing in the right-hand photo there?
I think that's somebody else just doing woke impersonations.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Although oddly enough, that's the first thing you find in the Google search when you say woke.
Well, it's anti-Illuminati, so I support that image.
So the New Yorker has an article entitled literally, and it's bordering on parody. How should we think about Kanye West tweets? In other words, they literally have an article telling their fucking sheep readers, here's what you should think of this.
Here's what you should think, sheep. Kanye West is fucking successful and you aren't.
If there's one thing that's been true for hundreds of years now, it's that Democrats sure do hate it when one of their niggers escapes. They sure do hate it when one of them gets off the plantation.
Yeah, they haven't been this upset since the slaves were freed.
Yeah, they haven't been this upset since we.
Their slaves have been freed, I should say.
But yeah, boy, you know, like there's lots of cucks on the right that hide behind, oh, look at this woke black guy, look at this based black guy. Like they need some black guy to affirm their beliefs or else they feel self-conscious about it. All that said, though, it does really make me smile when a black guy goes completely off the liberal plantation. Just because I love seeing articles in the New Yorker written by some white liberal telling some black guy that he doesn't know how to be a black guy. I love that shit.
Could I just say that I really, really enjoy the company of black people? Seriously, like the decent, church-going, humble, loving black folk out there. I'll take them over the average white any day. They are just so upbeat and positive and refreshing to be around. They're such genuinely decent human beings. And I will take that over the average white conservative watching his sports ball with strong opinions on the economy who doesn't do anything about it, of course. He just has strong fucking opinions on the economy, and then he watches The Big Bang Theory. I genuinely like black folk. And it's like, you Americans should take advantage. You got so many decent black folks in your country. You know, like we've got 12 in Canada. They're refreshing after all the white liberal degeneracy.
I go into the chat here. Somebody says Kanye lost 8 million followers on Twitter. Yeah, but I'm sure that's probably like nothing to him though.
I'm sure that did not affect whether or not he owns a mansion.
Yeah, really. It probably barely affected his fucking Twitter count, like follower count. Kanye West gives me the impression that he likes to go to 4chan. Kanye finds poll took him long enough. Let's see. Base DDDDD. Let's see.
That's fucking based.
So he says, I work with a Jamaican, super good guy. I heard he really hates his wife's family. Can't blame him for that. There's lots of pictures where he's hanging out with them and he just looks disgusted by them. Like, yeah, that big old ass came with a price, didn't it, Kanye?
Wait, who's he married to?
Kim Kardashian.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's why I disliked. That's what I disliked about him the most. Not that he's not that he's with a white chick, but he's with that white chick.
Let's see. Does Kanye hate the Amish yet? No, we don't know about that yet, but we're working on that.
I hate the Amish out of loyalty to Bechtloff.
They are terrible. Somebody says the black vote is absolutely necessary for Democrats this November. The major blue cities are losing middle class and college. It's interesting. I remember when people were crunching the numbers on Hillary and all, and they were talking about how like she had to like she was doing so poorly with whites that she had to carry 99% of the black vote, where typically Democrats only carry about 90. Yeah, I mean, I don't see it happening anytime soon, but I'll tell you what, if Democrats lost the black vote, even to the extent of them just staying home, they'd be in real fucking trouble.
And can I just take the opportunity to point out that, guys, vote Republican this coming, like you vote for judges or some bullshit like that this coming election. Vote Republican. Okay, I know Trump is a bit disappointing in a lot of ways. He got rid of Obamacare. He's negotiating fairly well with China. He is lowering your tax rate. Vote fucking Republican. Yeah, okay, Donald Trump is not the God Emperor. Get over it. Vote fucking Republican. Do you want Hillary? I know he's disappointed, but get out there and vote. Yeah, I'd rather live in America where the tax rate keeps going down than America where SJWs have even more legal access than they currently do.
Let's see. Somebody in the chat says nationalism is going to triumph. Trump will humiliate Macron. The left will defend Macron, EU and Merkel, while the black vote will collapse and Democrats have no money to fight both fronts. More pressure.
Cheap nationalism is going to triumph. Marketed nationalism is going to triumph. I'm sorry, 90% of people are idiots. All we can do is try and maybe bend things just a little teeny bit so that we have more freedom.
The only thing that I've really noticed in my discourses with people of opposing views is that, everyone kind of knows this, but political discourse is not determined by intellectual argument or rigor. It's based on the emotional impressions that they've gotten through in the course of their lives. And that's really sad because it explains why no one likes to talk about politics, because there's nothing to talk, because you don't talk politics, you talk emotions.
Well, I noticed that even on the right. Years ago, I remember, during the 2012 election, it began to really dawn on me that, conservatism didn't, you can't fucking define conservatism. All these other kind of right-wing schools of thought, you got your monarchism, you got your, anarcho-capitalism, you got your fucking libertarianism, and you got your, ethno-nationalism. All those are actual thought-out fucking positions, good, bad, or indifferent. Whereas just mainstream conservatism, there's no core to it.
There's no
it's just a reaction to the left. Like I heard somebody describe postmodernism one time as being more of a mood and a reaction than an actual philosophy. And that's really what conservatism is. It's a reaction before it's anything else.
I was driving through Atlanta, and I was tuned into the local Fox station, and they were joking about having casual sex on the weekend. Male and female hosts talking about how they were whoring it up on the weekend. Guys, there's a culling happening. 90% of people don't want to be alive. And they will be culled. Just make sure you're not part of that 90%. And, you know, if you have the opportunity to vote, like, listen, Trump has a lot of fucking flaws. I'm not talking about his ego. I love his ego. I'm talking about the gold buildings and the... Well, there's a lot I don't like about Trump. But you know what? Trump's a fucking man. Even if he's not doing everything he promised that he'd do, vote Trump. Get out there, vote. I'll take
to
Trump.
some extent, and I don't want to make excuses for him, but to some extent, there's not a great deal he can do. When you have, when you have so much of the government openly fantasizing about assassinating him, when you have judges just overturning every fucking thing he does, to some extent, it's like, what the fuck can he do?
When you have
he needs a party to back him up.
Yeah, and the base isn't backing up. They're bitching that he didn't build the fucking wall. Who gives a shit
doing that though?
Wall.
That's the thing though. He's fucking doing it though. He's sending troops down there. I honestly think he's going to get the shit done. And if it doesn't get done, it's going to be because some fucking asshole judge put some fucking stop on it, and none of the other Republicans stood with him.
Oh, but Bechtloff, he said Mexico would pay for it. He's doing what he fucking can.
You know what? Just stop sending the fucking aid to Mexico. How about that? We send him all this money. You just take it out of there. Yeah, again, he's doing what he can. All right?
This is why we don't have good leaders, is because we don't deserve good leaders. We were blessed by Trump.
Like, yeah, ideally, we would have a big old wall decorated with Hillary Clinton's skull. Okay? Ideally, he declares martial law tomorrow, because he knows he has enough loyal people in the military, and he just executes all these fucking federal judges. I'd be fucking happy with that tomorrow. I'd go to work with a smile on my face.
Again, like, I'm pretty much done with politics at this point, but I'm still backing Trump. And I don't even like Trump, okay? But Trump's a man. And so I will back Trump because he has masculine virtue. Fuck politics. Fuck all. No, he's a fucking man. He is powerful. He is successful. He displays excellence. If you don't back Trump, you're a whiny bitch. Like, guess what? The whole modern world is fucked. The entire system is beyond corrupt. Okay, we are in 1992 collapsed Soviet Union. Everything's fucking corrupt, and you can make endless excuses to be a weenie. Or you can stand up and back a guy that's actually being masculine. Or you could go subscribe to Shoe on Head. I hear she's anti-feminist.
She's fucking based.
So you want to hear about this missing 411 shit?
Sure, why not?
All right, so I've been looking into this a lot. Well, first of all, I got a friend that saw a Bigfoot. And it's a very plausible, convincing story. He was fucking terrified of the damn thing. And he doesn't really like talking about it. And the guy is a bullshitter, but not this sort of bullshitter. And his
I
brother...
saw one in the Ghostbusters remake. I'm not sure if that was CGI, though, but I'm told that was an actual actress.
No, he saw this damn thing when he was driving through British Columbia at the time. And he stopped at a roadside stop off to, piss break, throw out garbage and whatnot. And he walks a little bit away from the car and at first he thinks it's a guy wearing a hoodie. And he made eye contact with it. And he saw the intelligence in its eyes. He said, like, this is not a fucking animal. This is a person. And it was all scraggly. It'd been eating the garbage left behind by the people. And he just immediately panicked and said, "Get back in the fucking car." And the family did. He drove them to the next stop. They ran into his parents, and his parents, he was still white in the face after seeing this damn thing. And he reported to the Park Service here in Canada, and they contacted him back about a week later, saying that, yeah, a couple of German tourists saw it too in your area. Like, we know these things are real, but we don't have any fucking proof whatsoever. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Bigfoots exist. Highly endangered, probably an IQ of 70 or something like that, like even dumber than Africans. But they're people. At the very minimum, and there might be more to it than that, because this is where we get into the missing 411 thing. So, missing 411 was a project started by a retired police investigator into disappearances in national parks. And now there's a certain set of disappearances that are completely predictable, right? People get lost, people make dumb mistakes, they fall down canyons, whatnot. We know what that looks like. Missing 411 is about the cases that are inexplicable. And the scariest thing about these inexplicable cases is there's a pattern to them. There's always people that disappear. Either it's a little kid that goes behind a bush for a split second and then it's gone, or it's an experienced hiker that walks off on his own and then he's gone. And if they find the body is usually, it's like up a very steep mountain, or it's 2 mountain peaks over, or it's in an area that's been searched multiple times. They find about 2 weeks after the disappearance. And there's a few commonalities to the bodies that are found. First of all, they seem to always be missing their boots, which is extremely weird. Boots are... You guys have heard about all the feet appearing on the west coast of Canada? All these shoes with feet in them have been washing up on shore in British Columbia. Well, that is because, like, there's a variety of explanations. It's not a serial killer.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that. Sorry, I was eating crackers. I couldn't respond right away.
Oh, okay, well, it's a common thing. It's been going on for 10 years now, where people just keep finding feet on the west coast of the Pacific.
Are we sure Dan Schneider's not involved?
And these feet are suicides, mob murders, accidents at sea.
Am I looking at an actual decomposed foot in that shoe, Luke?
Yeah, you are.
So.
Oh, jeez.
Now the thing is that
put some Kim Possible art up or something. I don't need that right before bed.
Boots are very, very tough. Okay, boots don't come off of feet. And see, what happens with these feet is that you get a body sunk to the bottom. Eventually, the ankle rots away. It floats back up and it lands on the shore. So there's no real mystery to the feet appearing on the West Coast. It's just the news started paying attention to it, so it became a thing. It's been ongoing for a long time. There's no serial killer cutting off feet, just a variety of explanations. Now, the thing about these missing 411s, there is no reason that somebody would take their boots off and leave the rest of their clothing on. And there's no, like, animals aren't going to pull the shoes off. Okay, boots, shoes, hiking boots, they are very, 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 very tough. Yeah, so that's one thing. They're almost always found with the shoes missing. When cause of death is usually not self-evident. They write it off as exposure quite often. Many times, these people, like, they'll be found, like, up a very, very steep mountain when, like, obviously, if you're trying to get to base camp, go downhill. Why would you climb up a steep mountain? Why would a 4-year-old boy climb up a steep mountain that experts can barely get up? And sometimes, the reports we have, there are high levels of GHB in their system. What GHB, if you don't know, is the date rape drug. It's a naturally occurring chemical in the brain that if you overload the brain with GHB, you put somebody into a zombie-like trance.
Well, this is sounding a lot more like Dan Schneider's involved.
And now it seems to involve people of Germanic descent as well, although that statistically a very large number of people in America have Germanic descent, so that might just be an artifact. There are some very, very weird, inexplicable disappearances, and there seems to be a pattern. And what I love about the guy at Missing 411, he does not speculate. He does not speculate if it's aliens or Bigfoot or whatever. He's like, this is what I've found. I don't know what the hell it is. And there also seems to be a cover-up with the Park Service. So, yeah, if you're going hiking, make sure you go with a buddy. Nobody ever seems to disappear in twos. It's always somebody that goes around a bush for a split second. You know, when I was doing Turtlehead Mountain last week, I said to the girlfriend, don't lose eye contact. Just keep an eye on me. I'm more worried about me than her. I'm the one with Germanic blood.
My show has gotten very coast-to-coast AM the last few times here.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of moving in that direction. It's something I have studied quite a bit.
Like Sunday night, I was talking about the time I saw a demon.
Yeah, I like that. That was a good show. Yeah, see, I might talk about this tomorrow, but demons appear to me as like little squiggles or gnats in the side of my vision. Like I'm not exactly seeing them. I see them in my peripheral, and they're little, like, dark little squiggles. I know exactly what they are, and you shouldn't give them attention. And they generally only appear around people that are windswept houses. So I really haven't seen any demons in a few years now, which I'm grateful for. I don't like them. You shouldn't give them attention. You can learn to see them after a fashion. It's hard to explain because you're not really seeing them, okay? But you see these, like for me, they're like dark wiggles. They don't really exist. That's the nature of the demon. It doesn't actually exist. It wants to steal existence from you by tricking you into believing in a lie. And certain people attract those things. The prideful, especially, they very much attract those things. Because pride is all about living a lie. Pride is all about saying, I'm number one, when you're obviously number zero. Oh, by the way, this is, listen, I've had hallucinations from sleep deprivation, and I know what hallucinations look like. I once saw Vegas Vic waving at me in an empty field because I hadn't slept in 3 days. And it's like, fuck off, Vegas Vic. You're not real. I know you're not real, even though I can see all of you. Like, I can see every detail of you waving at me. I know that the giant 20-foot cowboy doesn't exist.
Well, one of the reasons I don't believe that, it was just my imagination playing tricks on me or hallucination or, half a dream or whatever is because, as I said in that story, I perceived something in a way I'd never perceived it. And I used the analogy that it would be like if, you never had seen color your whole life, you'd never even heard of color. And one minute you look at an apple and you suddenly see it's red, and then that goes away. How the fuck would you even begin to describe that?
It's like that Lovecraft story, this color out of space.
Yeah, and I can't, I don't see how my imagination could have pulled something that I had absolutely no context for, and that I can't even describe and can still barely wrap my head around. Yeah, I've been sleep deprived and shit where you see things that aren't there and stuff. I've had, I wouldn't say full on hallucinations, but little mirages in my vision and shit like that. That's not what that was. And I know I don't share those stories that often because, I mean, that's just one of them I have. Because as I often say, I don't talk about it because I know how it sounds. But, because it's something, somebody hearing that can just easily dismiss it. But at the same time, I know what the hell I saw. No pun intended.
I tell you, the more I look at, I spent way too long in this objective material world of rational argument and political movements and whatnot. When it's again, I should have figured this out 5-10 years ago. I shouldn't have wasted 5-10 years of my life trying to fight battles that are doomed to failure. But this rational objective world is anything but rational and objective. And listen, let's be perfectly frank. The demon theory actually is far better at explaining what we see out there than Evo Psych or game theory or political maneuvering, any of it. Yeah, do what I just ran into. I just ran into a report on the fact that there is an incredible demand for exorcists right now. Demand for exorcism is through the frickin' roof currently. And it's funny because I kind of felt like I'd noticed an uptick of demonic activity a couple years. I don't even know how I noticed it. I just noticed it. And then I thought that was just me because, I had that interesting business partner. And then Ann Barnhart goes and says the exact same thing that I was thinking. And now 2 years later, we have a huge demand for exorcists. Well, and a huge part of leftism is demonic possession. Maybe not possession per se, but demonic oppression. See, these people invite the demons in.
See, I find with like Evo Psych and all, I find it the RK theory, it explains a lot. It really does. But it doesn't explain everything. And it only explains a facet of things. And yeah, at a certain point, it kind of just breaks down, and it's like there's a spiritual dimension here that can't be ignored. I mean, I often point to that mouse utopia experiment, and I would argue that experiment alone demonstrates that there's a spiritual dimension to life. Because if those mice were nothing but biological machines, and what should happen is they should reach a point where they breed to a point where they get to write about what that habitat can withstand, can support, and then the population either plateaus or drops off. But almost always they get to halfway to that point and their little spirits break and they all go insane. That shouldn't happen that way if they're just biological machines.
Yeah, the RK theory, and Anonymous Conservative would agree with what I'm saying. He's alluded to it many times. It's a case of as above, so below, which, like, why would you expect objective scientific reality to be different from absolute supernatural reality? It's the exact same thing. Of course all the pieces fit. Why? What universe do you think God made that science disagrees with faith?
There's an old saying where it says, you say that the sun comes up because the earth is revolving around it. I say the sun comes up because it is meant to. Neither one of us is wrong.
And so the RK theory does map to demonic possession. See that, or oppression. Let's say oppression, okay? Because that's the bigger problem right now. I'm sure there is quite a bit of possession, but see, possession you can deal with. Okay, possession, you can actually exercise the person. They want to be exercised. Oppression, they want the oppression. Okay, they invite you can't exercise somebody that doesn't want to be exercised. And the whole nature of leftism is to stare at something and say it is other than what it is. Whether we're talking about the violence of Islam, the viciousness of the homosexual community, the nature of high school bullying, or this is just on my mind today, the way that wife beaters are depicted as hyper masculine, when in reality they are only a weak man beats his wife. Tough guys don't beat their wives. Why the hell would you do that? Weak men do it. So that the leftist looks at reality and says, it's the opposite of this. And that's how you open up the doors to these demons, to the father of lies. Oh, Jesus. Although, funny thing, I actually saw a guy in a wife beater beating the crap out of his woman in a car on an on-ramp while I was in Vegas.
Well, in all fairness, she just wouldn't listen.
I didn't phone the cops, neither did the girlfriend, because, I mean, she's choosing to be in that situation.
I actually got in an argument with a buddy of mine a couple years ago when I guess that the singer Rihanna had gone. There was, I don't know if she really did end up getting back with Chris Brown, but there was a rumor that she had gotten back with Chris Brown, and he had famously beaten the shit out of her. And I said, well, at that point, I have no sympathy for her. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, because at that point, either she's retarded and incapable of pattern recognition, or she likes getting the shit beaten out of her. Either way, I have no sympathy for her.
I'm more disappointed in Chris Brown. Why the fuck are you getting back with the chick that gave you an STD?
Oh.
Yeah, that is the rumor that she gave him herpes.
I'm not saying that's a justified response, but it's a predictable response. It's an understandable. It's a human response. Now,
No, that's almost justified. Somebody gives you fucking herpes because they were cheating on you. I think they deserve a punch in the face. At the very least.
Actually, yeah.
I don't care what the fuck the law says. I'm not going to tooth out.
But getting back together with the chick that gave you herpes because she was cheating on you, that is fucking soy. That's weak man right there. Ceci n'est pas une pipe. Yeah, that's the nature of demons. This is why the very first thing you do during an exorcism is name the fucking demon. I was on Forney's stream the other day. And I mentioned this conversation with apparently Gamergate's still a thing. I got into a conversation with a guy in Gamergate. He just de-tagged me from a post, apparently, because there was a left-wing guy in the post that was offended that I was tagged in it because I'm whatever. And so I said to this guy, like, what is Gamergate? What is the opposition to Gamergate? The opposition to Gamergate is 100% left-wing. They are left-wing journalists supported by left-wing politicians who believe in left-wing politics, supported by left-wing media like CNN. The anti-Gamergate crowd is 100% dyed-in-the-wool, dicks painted blue Democrat. And you say I'm too conservative, whatever the fuck that means. That's very interesting. And that's all I said. I didn't tell him what to do, but he responded getting very angry at me. So this is why we don't like talking to you, because you're so political all the time. Dude, you brought up politics. I simply named the fucking demon. I told you what the thing was. I named it, and you are furious that I named it. Demons hate being named because when something is named, you know what it is. You got a demon, and it said, and you force it to name itself, and its name is Judas. It's a betrayal demon. You now know what it is. You know what the nature of the lie is. Demons fucking hate being named. Whereas real people, the nature of love is to be named. true love, whether it's eros with your spouse, or if it's philias with your siblings, or love for your children, and I forget the Greek term for that, so forgive me. True love is naming a person and loving it. Knowing what your wife is, what your son is, what your brother is. Knowing it and saying it is good and I love it. Demons hate love. Real people love it. Sorry, man. I hope I didn't get too intense there. Should we get back to talk about Bigfoots?
Somebody just sent this to me. I'd seen it a while ago, but it was...
That's fucking terrifying.
What the hell is that from?
The Conjuring 2.
It's from what?
The Conjuring 2.
That's pretty damn cool. Yeah, I might get into more stories like that and shit, because it's just, I don't know. I am kind of burned out on politics.
Oh, it's a hell of a lot more meaningful and interesting and entertaining than politics. And I don't know if it's you or 40 pointing out that Art Bell did this great job of, he knew he was an entertainer, and he was open-minded, but he would call people on their bullshit. He really walked that line. He did a damn good job. The thing is, these conversations about demons, possession, even if I'm sure like a few of you guys in the audience are, I don't know, secular materialists, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's certainly useful psychologically, isn't it? You know, as Douglas Adams said, he does not believe in feng shui, but he does think that if you organize your apartment so that invisible dragons can fly around without any trouble, it'll probably be a really nice apartment. All right, now see this right here. I'll tell you, I ran into a case when I first started studying demonic possession. Ran into a schizophrenic. And at first I was literally sitting at the coffee shop reading my book about demonic possession when the schizophrenic approaches me and starts talking to me. And he was not demonically possessed. He was actually a very, very courageous soul who had been very highly abused as a kid, and he refused to give in to the abuse. If he'd given in to the abuse and become an abuser like his stepmom, he would manifest as sane. And he'd just take it out on a little child and beat them and torture them the way he was tortured. But because he refused to be an evil man, it created a split in his personality and very, very erratic behavior, resulting ultimately in schizophrenia. Now, the way I knew that, I talked with this guy for about an hour or so, and there's two giveaways, the difference between schizophrenia and demonic possession, or whatever, like bath salts with this guy possibly, is that, first of all, demonic possession, they have knowledge that they shouldn't have, the ability to speak ancient languages, etc. Number two, the mentally ill are attracted to holy symbols. The demonically possessed hate them. And I'm far from a good man. But the reason the schizophrenic started talking to me is because something about he saw the good in me. That's why he started talking to me. Whereas a actual demonically possessed person would have been repelled by that. So in this case, very hard to say. I mean, this could be bath salts. It could be fetal alcohol syndrome. I am kind of leaning towards demonic possession with this.
Well, you say it could be bath salt, it could be demonic possession. It could be both.
Yeah, I mean, they open the fucking doors.
Yeah. There was some comic, and it was one of these indie comics, and I only read issue 1. It was pretty good. I just never read the rest. It was called blood blister. But the premise was that this really shitty, amoral businessman had been possessed like by demons for years, but he himself was so shitty that he never knew. And like it finally took a toll on his body, and that's how he figured out. But yeah, as the author said, he was inspired by some quote that says, you know, if someone is completely possessed by a demon, they wouldn't even know.
Yeah, I've got this suspicion about hell that our souls are made up of a number of spirits. Yeah, and you've all noticed that at different times in your life, a different spirit manifests in you. You know, there's the spirit in you that's very, very, I don't know, like likes reading books. There's the spirit of love in you that's very passionate with your woman. There's all these different spirits in you. And I've got this suspicion that in hell, the spirits get shredded into infinitesimal points. So every aspect of you becomes like completely shredded from every other aspect. And that there is really no true identity in hell. And what you get with like what demons are is basically the amalgamated shreds of human souls trying to reattain existence within God's universe of names. And they come into it using deception. Deception of usury, the deception of sexuality without reproduction, the deception of pride. Believe in me, believe in my lie, and I can exist and taste reality for a little bit until I'm caught. And the demons would rather taste reality in a gutter than be sent back to hell. A gutter is better than hell. You know, Akashic Soldier says demons are fallen angels created to test and tempt men. Yes, but there are also, again, too many human names come up. Again, Judas has come up. His name has come up during demonic possessions. And hell is outside of the light of God. It's outside of the truth of God. It's outside of the word. It is the place of lies and contradictions. It's a place of non-existence. Time doesn't exist there. Space doesn't exist there. You are crammed together with everybody else there. There is no truth. There is no dimension in hell. That's my suspicion. Keep in mind that we are not meant to know the orders and ranks of hell. You don't want to know. The less you know about hell, the better off you are.
Yeah, I sort of get the impression your dog has, you know, a better understanding of what you do when you go to work than you have of hell.
Oh, yeah.
Look, asshole. I don't know if anyone explained the rules to you, but if you succeed, everything gets blinked out of existence, even you.
Human, have you ever been to hell? I think not. I'd rather not exist than go back to that. And if everyone has to go down with me, so be it.
The real irony is that existence is the mercy. As much as demons say they don't want to be in hell, they do, because that's all they manifest. It's like the woman that doesn't want to be with an abusive boyfriend, yet she keeps going back to him. The guy hunting the fucking bear. It's like, you're not here for the hunting, are you, buddy?
It's like that Outer Limits episode, I think it was, where the guy dies and you know, everything seems like heaven, and then time passes and he's so bored with it. And he says he wants to go to hell, and he's told, like, where did you think you were?
I haven't seen that one. I need to look that one up.
Yeah, he just, he dies and he's in this mansion where he gets everything he could possibly want. And, enough time goes by and he's bored to tears with it all.
Yeah, I saw it was, I think, a Twilight Zone episode or a version of that where the man lived as a thief and a criminal, and he was killed by the cops. And he wakes up one day and finds out, like, hey, I'm in this paradise, but he realizes he can't steal, he can't do anything.
Well, I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap this up. Nice little spooky stuff before everyone goes to bed.
Here it is.
Just between you and me, Fats. I don't think I belong here. I don't think I fit in.
Oh, nonsense. Of course you do.
No, I mean it. It's just somebody must have goofed. If I got to stay here another day, I'm going to go nuts. Look, I don't belong in heaven, see? I want to go to the other place.
Heaven? Whatever gave you the idea you were in heaven, Mr. Valentine? This is the other place.
Da, da, da.
Turns out it was man. The scary door.
He was his own reflection the entire time.
All right, folks, if you enjoy the show, if you enjoy this weird fucking content I put out where I start off talking about X-Men trading cards and then talk about demon possession.
I'm glad I missed the first part.
Then you should you damn leaf. Then you should check out down below where you can hit up the PayPal and the Patreon and the Amazon wishlist. I just checked on the PayPal. Somebody had sent me a little donation and said that the one show I did helped them get their girlfriend woke on the boomer question. So yeah, if you enjoy the show, do consider supporting it. Become a regular supporter on Patreon. You can become you send a one-time donation on the PayPal, get something off the Amazon wish list. As I've said before, any kind of media that's gotten off of that, I will review. I'm almost done Jordan Peterson's book. I'll do a review of that. Somebody got that off my wish list. And that's about, if you're on Twitter, at Bechtloff Podcast, you can go ahead and follow that. That's not run by me, but that will have updates of when the show is live, that sort of thing. So yeah, check that out.
Bechtloff, before we go, someone sent a redhead picture to you.
Okay. Ooh, that's nice.
I can almost see her cooter.
That's delightful. And also I'm on the Gab, the Bechtloff on there. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/the Bechtloff. There's a Discord server. I don't fucking know how to invite people into it. I don't know. I barely understand what Discord is.
It's a place where the FBI can watch you discuss making Molotov cocktails, I think.
Yeah, I think it's like where you got to get academics to respond to you. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm using it right. I haven't gotten any academics to respond yet. But yeah, that's about all we got for tonight, folks. I want to thank you all for listening. Bechtloff out.